Hi guys, I'm Richard, and today I am so relieved and so excited to be able to get something off my chest and share it with you. For the past 12 months, I've been able to bring you around 30 organ recitals, a virtual church every week for around 12 months. In fact, we're about to celebrate our first year anniversary for virtual church. Various recorded performances. It's enabled me to learn new repertoire like the 6 trio sonatas by Bach and Healy Willen's Introduction, Passacaglia and Fugue, and various other pieces. But I want to be able to share with you today the future of this organ and the future of beauty in sound. I've got some very, very exciting news to share with you, and I hope that you will be excited about it as I am. As wonderful as having this organ really is, having 3 manuals which works really well for organs like Caen, Haarlem, Essen, Alessandria, it's rather limiting for 4 manual instruments such as Rotterdam and Görlitz and the forthcoming Nancy organ by Piotr Grabowski. It means on organs such as Görlitz, particularly large organs, that I don't have enough physical stops to house the virtual organ. So it basically means that I have to go between physical stops and pushing virtual buttons here. It's not an ideal scenario for someone like me who loves technology, yes, but I'm also, with regards to the organ, a traditionalist. I like to have the virtual stops configured to the physical stops, and then when I'm playing the organ, forget that I'm actually playing a Hauptwerk. These virtual buttons, these launch pads here, take me away out of that immersion and bring me back into reality when having to focus on the text on these buttons here. It's not an ideal scenario if you're playing fiddly and tricky music which require a lot of changes, even playing hymns where the registration is changing almost every line. Having these launch pads it's not an ideal solution. So for a long time I've been thinking about how we can work around these issues. Is it possible, I thought, to install a 4th manual where this panel is here, thus removing this panel and installing a 4th manual? Is it possible, I thought, to install more physical stops underneath or even above the existing physical stops here? Is it possible, I thought, to somehow incorporate these launch pads into a more permanent position? None of those solutions seemed viable to me. And as a traditionalist, I love technology and I love modern things. But when it comes to organ consoles, organ craftsmanship, tradition trumps over modern conceptual ideas. So over the past 6 months or so, I've actually been liaising with organ manufacturers from both the Netherlands and in England about options and how we could potentially upgrade this instrument or even start afresh with a new organ. Some of you may have noticed that I've been asking in the live chat if you could have any organ from around the world replicated in your own home, which organ would you have? A lot of people said the Wanamaker organ in Philadelphia. A lot of people said Saint-Sulpice in Paris. A lot of people said the Royal Albert Hall in London. Well, I had my ideas as well. I love the organ consoles of Harrison and Harrison. I was organ scholar at York Minster and then assistant organist at Winchester Cathedral. Both of these organs have Harrison and Harrison consoles, and it's somewhere where I feel very comfortable everything on a Harrison and Harrison console is exactly where, as an English organist, I expect it to be. The stops, the divisionals, the thumb pistons, the toe pistons, the swell pedals, the dimensions, everything is just so. So for me, which organ do I choose? You know, there's some wonderful organs around, some wonderful physical real organs, as well as the virtual Hauptwerk versions of them. Obviously, Salisbury, Hereford, and now Peterborough are 3 cathedral organs which exist virtually. Could I have a replica of Salisbury Cathedral? I know the organ of Salisbury Cathedral well. I've played it numerous times, the real organ that is. I played Hereford Cathedral numerous times as well. And Peterborough, I once had an audition there, an unsuccessful audition at Peterborough Cathedral. So I know those consoles well, but I'm really keen on organs like Westminster Abbey, Winchester Cathedral, York Minster, which have these wonderful consoles where Harrison and Harrison clearly have left their mark. And with organs like Winchester and York, I have a sentimental attachment to those places, having worked there as well. So perhaps the ultimate organ for someone's house is surely Westminster Abbey. It's 5 manuals. It's like a field of daisies when looking at the stops, because there are so many. You have 3 swell pedals, lots of toe pistons. However, it is rather large, and 5 manuals. There aren't many, if any. Please correct me in the comments. I don't know of any 5 manual Hauptwerk organs. Rotterdam could be considered a 5 manual organ because you have the 4 actual manuals, but then you also have a 5th chamade division, so you could actually have the chamades on the 5th manual. I don't know of any others. However, Westminster Abbey just became a little bit too big, and I just thought actually possibly something a bit smaller, a bit more compact. Why would I go for Westminster Abbey when I'd never worked there, and yet I have an affiliation and some sort of sentimental attachment to places like York? Now this is the really, really exciting piece of news, okay? And I'm just going to say it to you, because I can't think of another way to announce this, to be honest with you. I've been thinking about how to drum up interest and how to announce it, but it's best just to say it, to be honest. I have asked Romsey Organ Works to build me a replica of the newly refurbished screen console at York Minster. And I'm very, very delighted and somewhat relieved and somewhat a little bit nervous that they've agreed to do it. Now, I've had various conversations with Romsey Organ Works over the telephone, that's Zoom calls, over email, and we've been messaging as well, talking about requirements and talking about these ideas that I have by fussy requirements and fussy ideas, and they're up for the challenge. Now, what I can show you on the screen right now is this proposed stop layout. As you will be able to see, there are actually 6 divisions: swell pedal, 5 solo, choir, and great. York Minster itself has 4 manuals and a pedal board, so that's 5 divisions. The organ console that I've commissioned will also have 4 manuals and a pedal board, essentially a 5-division instrument. The stop layout here accommodates for organs which may have 5 manuals, therefore 6 divisions. Rotterdam again has those chamades, so the stops underneath the 5 sign will be able to accommodate those chamades. So I did say the organ would be a replica of York. It is a loosely based replica. The visions here are actually laid out in the same way starting from swell on the left, moving over to great on the right, is a Harrison and Harrison tradition. And it's one of the things when playing one of these consoles that makes me feel so comfortable and so at home, because all the stops are exactly where you expect them to be. Now, I can also show you today the thumb pistons. So I've actually designed the layout of the thumb pistons as well as the toe pistons. Now, this is also based on York. There are only one or two areas on this sort of map, this design, which are not faithful to York. And we'll get into those on another video in the future. And straight after this video, I will be doing a live Q&A where I will be talking about the new organ in more detail. So please do come over to the live stream straight after this video. So why on earth do I need to have such an elaborate instrument if I'm going to be playing it here by myself through organ recitals and virtual church? Well, so obviously for organ recitals, we need to have the best instrument that we can. Playing a wonderful organ, it translates into all instruments. If you play a wonderful Steinway piano, for example, it's so much more inspiring to play than something that you might have found down at the local scrapyard. You're not going to get much inspiration from that really cheap, scratched out of tune piano with a cracked frame than you would on a Steinway. It just really inspires you. When playing a wonderful console, for example, playing Tasselpiece, there's nothing more inspiring than playing that organ, hearing that sound, and just being in that wonderful space. It's the same with this instrument here. This organ provides me with a lot of comfort and inspiration because it is physically a very nice place to be. It's very comfortable, actually, and I'm very fortunate to have it. But I want to be able to play repertoire which allows me to use the four manuals independently and allows me to assign the virtual stops to the physical stops. That's caught me out numerous times, and regular viewers will know that I often get frustrated that I can't have the four manuals separate and that I have to use these launch pads to accommodate organs such as Görlitz. So that's one reason for my own benefit, but moving into the future, the organ's actually going to be used on a much more broader, wider scale. I'm not going to be the only person playing this organ, basically. The organ is going to be used by real organists, real world-class organists who you would have heard of. And I've got people lined up already, people of international reputation, lined up already to come and give recitals on this future organ. And I want to be able to provide these world-class organists with the best instrument that they possibly can play. There is something quite disconcerting when playing a Hauptwerk organ as opposed to a real organ, and I can tell you this just from personal experience, and I am experienced in Hauptwerk and in the real world of playing large 4-manual, sometimes 5-manual cathedral organs. When playing a Hauptwerk, there's always that idea in your mind that something might just go wrong because it's a computer. Computers will glitch, they will crash, and just things aren't always as seamless on those modern electric Hauptwerk organs as they are on a 30 or 40 year old Harrison console. It sounds backwards, like an older organ is more reliable than a Hauptwerk, but actually believe me, from experience, that is the case. You turn a Harrison on, or any organ on, and it's just there. It's on, the blowers are blowing, you press a divisional, you pull out a stop, you play it, and it just works. You don't need to worry about anything else, loading up the software, making sure you've got enough RAM, is the MIDI connected properly, are the wires pushed in. You don't need to worry about any of that. So I want to have a very relaxing, comfortable, modern console, but in the traditional sense. So when an organist sits there, they could be sitting at a real cathedral organ. let's take that one step further. When an organist sits at the new console, they could be sitting at the actual console of York Minster. So yes, we'll be using the organ for real concerts with real organists. But I also want to be able to invite people into the music room to witness these organists playing this organ in real life and have a live audience. A live audience will want to see a real fabulous instrument. And again, it adds to that immersion, it adds to that reality. You know, it's a Hauptwerk organ, yes, but it could almost be a real organ. It looks like a real organ, and by gosh, it sounds like a real organ. So a live audience is going to want to see the finest craftsmanship, and let's bring them that. But that's not the only reason either. How about workshops and organ masterclasses? You know, I've already got organists lined up, way better than me, lined up to give organ masterclasses, organ tutorials for the organ students, people who are learning their way. I want to be able to invite younger organ students to play the organ whilst under the guidance of an organ tutor for broadcast on the Beauty in Sound channel. To be able to do that, we need to have the finest organ, a comfortable instrument with physical stops which match up to the virtual stops, an organ which feels real. Another reason why I wanted to replicate York rather than any other organ is because Robert Sharp, the director of music at the Minster, who oversaw the recent restoration of the York organ, has done a terrific job. He's been really faithful to the instrument prior to the restoration. He hasn't changed much of the layout. He's basically modernized it to some extent, but he hasn't changed the overall layout, and I really respect what he's done to the York organ, and I can't wait to go back and play it again actually. So I wanted to be able to carry on that legacy, pick up his inspiration, if you like, and use that to benefit the Beauty in Sound community. I think you will really like it, and I can't wait to bring you along this journey through the entire end-to-end build. The organ hasn't started yet, and it is my intention to take you on the journey. Actually, we're very lucky because Romsey Organ Works is very close to where we live. The organ will be built in Devon, which is just down the road from where we are. So I'll be able to get in the car, take the cameras down there and just document what's going on and share that experience with you. I can't wait. It's going to be the best thing ever. I don't know whether, I just hope that you're going to be excited as I am. I'm getting my words in the wrong order simply because I just can't wait to bring this journey to you. So I'm going to now sign off. I'm going to, I'll see you in the live Q&A. If you have any questions around the new organ, please do ask in the live Q&A. If you missed the live Q&A, leave a comment on this video and I will do my best to answer those questions. Once again, I can't wait to bring this journey to you guys. I can't wait to share it with you guys. It's actually thanks to you guys that we're able to do it, and I'm really sure that doing this monumental project will bring benefit to you. It will also bring a benefit to the wider Hauptwerk community. I think it will bring innovation to the Hauptwerk world, and I think it will hopefully convince some of those people who are not quite sure on the whole Hauptwerk thing just yet, possibly people who are even more traditional than me, who demand that their organs have pipes. Hopefully it might bring them round into a more up-to-date way of thinking that Hauptwerk actually can serve a purpose and it can fulfill those traditional needs just like mine. So, once again, very, very excited. Until next time, whenever that will be, I will say very excited. I'm not going to use that word once more today, I promise. I will say cheerio. Goodbye everyone. Take care.